South Africa. When the Britannia sailed into the port of Durban, she brought with her typical British weather. The royal entourage had arrived in the resort city, along with the South African rally crews, who were there to do battle on the first event of the South African Championship, the Tour de Total Rally. After a long 5-month layoff, Serge Damso and Vito Bonafide would be first into the stages to defend the rally they had won the previous 2 years in a row.
Yes, it's nice to, after a long break of doing nothing and starting the rally season, and I've always enjoyed coming to Durban. It's one of my favorite events, and I hope I can repeat the result I had last year. The last 2 years I've had a good start, and then towards the middle of the season I've had some bad luck camping. But I hope this year we can have a sort of a consistent season and win most of the events.
With the lifting of the total flag, the Mayor of Durban set the top seeds into stage 1, a short gymkhana type stage within the workshop complex in central Durban. Serge and Vito had to work hard last year for their 3rd consecutive championship title, winning it on the very last event of the season. Toyota's strategy was simple: don't mess with a winning formula. The 4-wheel drive Conquest has needed very little development during the off-season, and this year's car is just a refined version of what Serge and Vito rallied in last year. Seeded second is the Pretoria-based crew of Hannes Grobler and Pierre Arries. This is Pierre's first season in a Class A navigator seat and openly admits to relishing the thought. Pierre has moved up from the Western Cape to join the Bankford Nissan team, a big step up in his rallying career.
Into 80 meters, hairpin right here. Into 80 meters, hairpin left. Into 50 meters, 90 left. 90 left, yeah. 50 meters, 90 left again. 70 meters, hairpin left. 50 meters, hairpin right. 80 meters, hairpin left. 40 meters, 90 left. Followed by 40 meters, 90 left again. 90 left. Into flying finish, keep straight, and 90 left. As I.
The Natal crew of Jan Habich and Douglas Judd unveiled their newly built Volkswagen Golf Mark III. After a season of gearbox problems last year, Habich has opted for the new X-Track 6-speed gearbox in this car, which he is hoping will improve the car's traction in the typically tight South African rally stages. Jan and Douglas transport us from the tar on stage 1 to the mud on stage 2. Having successfully debuted in a Class A Toyota last year, Brady Dabner, now with fellow Cape Townian Guy Hodgson, intend to give the top seeds a run for their money this year. They clocked 2nd fastest time on stage 1. But Serge is a hard man to beat and takes stage 2 in a time of 4 minutes and 56 seconds. 5th on the road is Nuno de Cunha and Francois Pretorius in the 2nd Bankford Nissan Dealer Team Centre. Behind them, the Natal crew of Peter Altersky and Alan Bissett in the 3rd Class A 4x4 Conquest. The 4-wheel drive traction a huge advantage to these drivers as conditions steadily deteriorate. Rudolf Kurzer and Franz Boshoff got caught by a last-minute change to stage 2. The Ford Sapphire taking the wrong road and losing close to a minute in the process of turning the Sapphire around and retracing their course. Their rally was to be short-lived, with the team only completing 2 stages. Altersky and Bissett had a close shave on the stage to wash away the cause of the damage. The 2-wheel drive cars were having the worst of the muddy roads, with Class B set to be a showdown once again between the Golfs of Leon Botha and Tony Ball. Joining them after a long layoff, the Turbo Uno of Paolo Piazzamusso, here with Cindy Harding on the maps. Glenn Durman and Etienne Lawrence headed the Class C battle and looked like the men to beat in conditions that had anyone available lending a helping hand at the service areas. On to stage 4 and drama, and Serge Damso appears with smoke billowing from the Conquest. Lubricating fluid from the four-wheel drive system is burning on the exhaust, and the burst pipe has robbed the car of drive to the rear wheels. Serge has only limited control of the car, and as he sweeps through the spectator point, the Conquest breaks loose, leaving the road and ploughing into the cane field.
Help us! Help us!
The crew seem little affected by the flames under the car. Vito apparently more worried about losing time on the stage. The 35 seconds lost to Hannes Grobler is enough to change the order for the lead, and the Nissan crew move to the top of the scoreboard. Uninvolved and unaffected, Jan Habich and Douglas Judd press on. The Golf not as close to the pace as expected. Radio contact has the crew ready and waiting for the Toyota. Any time lost in servicing could result in penalties added to the score sheet. The service crew do well in getting the Toyota to the start of stage 5 on time. Behind the Toyota, the new leader waits to enter the stage.
It's 10.
Habich's new Golf has a host of small problems that need to be ironed out. The crew have been unable to match the pace of the leading cars. After 4 stages, they held 4th on the score sheet, having lost a place to Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson. Long sections of the stage have become waterlogged, and the gearbox and traction control are not yet working as one, causing the Golf to slow through these bad sections. The Golf is visibly slower through the stage, and the sound of the drivetrain can be heard above the engine.
200 grid. 200 turn off right. 100 turn off right. Turn off right, yes, slip road.
Ahead of the Golf on the road, Serge and Vito finished the stage, recording a time of 8 minutes and 5 seconds. 5 seconds faster than the Nissan of Hannes Grobler and Pierre Aries. Habich and Judd crossed the flying finish at the end of the stage, a full 53 seconds slower than the Toyota. They are not the only car having problems. Behind them, Brady Dabner and Guy Hodgson push themselves too hard in an effort to catch the 2 leading cars. As a result, the Bankman Toyota leaves the road on 2 occasions, and the crew are forced to slow their pace and regain their thoughts. They also lose time on the stage, bringing the gap between themselves and the Golf down to just 2 seconds.
Please take your camera away.
The pressure is starting to show. Leon Buerter and Francois Jordan have recorded consistently faster times, giving them a 21-second lead over Tony Ball and Marty Olivier. This is the first outing for Tony and Marty as a driver-navigator pair, and time is needed for the crew to gel. The heavy rains have turned many of the roads into rivers, resulting in last-minute changes to the course. This, in turn, puts pressure on the crews, who must instantly adapt to the changes. On stage 6, Hannes and Pierre lose their way, wasting over a minute in the process, and the Nissan crew drop to 3rd on the score sheet, 5 seconds behind Habich and Judd. This sudden promotion to 2nd place overall puts a spark back into the Golf's crew. The lead has once again been secured by Serge and Vito, who won all but stages 3 and 4. Hannes and Pierre are back to 3rd, now 4 seconds behind Habich and Judd. Gabner and Hodgson are fourth, with Botha and Jordan leading the two-wheel drive entry in fifth place overall.
It's been a bit of a different event because of the condition of the rallies. You know, the whole afternoons, like Hannes and myself changing position, and then he went, lost a minute and a half, so we're back in front again. So 2 more stages and then we'll have a regroup for tomorrow morning.